Welcome back to MHK All Day. 150 years ago, Jesse Chisholm made a trail that ran from Texas to Abilene, Kansas. Callie, do you know what trail that is?
Well, I'm going to take a wild guess and go with the Chisholm Trail.
Exactly. That trail made Abilene the town that it is today, and MHK All Day reporter Mason Voth went to check it out.
People know Abilene, Kansas for being the home of the 34th President Dwight D. Eisenhower. But before it was home to Ike, it was home to the Chisholm Trail.
An important piece of the Southern economy. We were looking at the end of the Civil War. The Texas Longhorns and all their markets down there were struggling because, unfortunately, the markets they would use down south were all in rubble at this point. So they had to figure out a way of getting to the north.
What now looks like just your standard Kansas town, 150 years ago, Abilene, Kansas was one of the key points in what was the Chisholm Trail. Abilene comes into the equation due to one Jesse Chisholm.
Jesse Chisholm had been using this trail for his own personal use, and the Buffalo know one thing is the path of least resistance, how to get to point A to point B the easiest way. They were able to find that for us.
But with the boom of an important town comes the negative aspects.
The town had enough of the cowboys and the red light districts and all the horrible things that come, and so the good people of Abilene ended up pushing all the cowboys out to Ellsworth and then eventually Dodge City.
It was that unruliness that brought in Wild Bill Hickok into town and set up stories that may have molded Abilene's favorite son.
One of the gentlemen who lived across the street from Ike and his family when he was growing up had been one of Wild Bill Hickok's deputies. So Ike, as a young boy, was hearing all kinds of stories of the Wild West, what was Abilene's cowboy heyday.
Dwight Eisenhower carried that love of his hometown and the Chisholm Trail stories all the way to the end of his life.
And one of the last books he was reading was a pulp fiction western called The Man from Abilene. So I think that's just sort of a nice poetic touch that we can add to the Chisholm Trail story and the Eisenhower connection.
150 years later, Abilene still remembers and can thank Jesse Chisholm for making the town that it is today. From Abilene, Mason Voth, MHK All Day.
It has been suggested that if it wasn't for the Chisholm Trail, there's a chance that Dwight Eisenhower would have never been from Kansas.